Okay, so thank you. I want to thank everybody from Assignment for joining me. We've got Gordan, we've got Heiko, as we know from Poverty's No Crime. Thank you for joining me for Friday 13th YouTube channel.
Yeah, thanks for having us,
Yeah, so
Jason.
I'm
Both.
going to ask you some warm-up questions because Heiko, we've done some interviews before with your Poverty's No Crime. So
Yeah.
first of all, Gordon, I'm going to ask you about your band. How did you first get into to be a musician? What was when did you learn to play guitar, and who was your influences back in the day?
I actually bought the guitar, the first one, with the age of 16, after I heard the Human record from Death.
Oh, really? Wow, great album.
Of course, it's a classic because, yeah, that was like beginning of the 90s, 1991, and the death metal wave was on its, rising up. So, of course, I was listening to metal music before, like since 10 or 11 with these classics, Sabbath, Priest, Maiden, and then with the development, you went into thrash metal and then death metal came. And then, of course, it impressed me, the power, the speed. But Death was the first band that also showed me that it can be have a very technical and progressive approach and being melodic and having really good song structures. And that impressed me that much that I said, like, hey, I want to do this.
Wow, so you learned to play guitar quite late on in life.
I had never been to some music classes or guitar teaching. I just went to work during a vacation, got 600 Deutschmarks, went to a music store and said, I want to buy an electric guitar. Took the guitar, went back home. I was listening to this stuff and I was trying to get out and figure out how they do it. And yeah, the whole assignment project started then in the mid 90s as a death metal band, actually,
Right, okay.
you know. But after recording two demos, um, the next wave hit me musically, and that was the progressive metal with Symphony X, Dream Theater, Evergrey. And then I found that I was musically a bit bounded just metal band, you know, and I wanted to have more variety. And then a couple of years later, the songwriting started out being more like power metal, progressive metal. But the riffing and the style of guitar playing which I have is pretty much Chuck Schuldiner.
Right, that's great. I mean, Heiko, and we met when you supported Psychotic Waltz.
Mm.
Gordon, what do you think of Psychotic Waltz? Do you like those guys as well?
Of course, Psychotic Waltz, Fate's Warning, Queensryche, at least until a certain point.
It's
uh, Mentioned with the other bands, Symphony X. In Germany here, Wundenplas was also an influence back then when they started.
oh right, interesting. So, Heiko, I mean, who's your influences as a bass player?
Oh, yeah, also interesting. As I started playing bass guitar, because I was 14 years old, I think, and then it was just the time when I just had started to have an more and more grown interested in music. So I was influenced by my sister, who started with her first uh, cassettes, just copied. And it was like something like Bon Jovi, Guns N' Roses, but also Roxette and yeah, such. That was the time. And then I was introduced by a guy from a friend of mine in school who was a little bit older because he had to retake one class, and then I got a tape from him, and that was Running Wild and Manowar, and
Okay.
I really
You mean
like,
Manowar?
yeah,
Manowar.
Manowar. I think it was Kings of Metal from Manowar
Okay,
and Under Jolly Roger from Running Wild, and
that's a
this
good
was on the
album.
cassette.
That's a good album.
So I was very impressed by the power, and I just remember We've been on a trip with school, and I had my Walkman and this metal on, and so I was really feeling like a cool guy at age of 14, 13, 14. And then there were some other guys in my class that were playing music, and so I was started to play piano when I was younger, and the flute, and so like just what you do as a kid when you start learning an instrument, and your parents think, okay, the boy should learn an instrument. I became the bass player, and so in our basement, at my parents' place, we used to play along to like Metallica, just very basic, and I try to listen to Sodom tunes, which is like not very sophisticated bass playing, but I really like the energy
Yeah.
behind it. So so that was how I started playing music, and then I very very quickly went into the progressive metal music. It's like and like 1989, 1990, 1991. It's like yeah, Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime, Fates Warning, Watchtower, Sieges Even. Crimson Glory, I really like the old Crimson Glory stuff, and so also Dream Theater, first Dream Theater album, and so that was yeah, and I was really looking into those bands.
What was the band we was in before Assignment? Did you record anything?
No. I back then on the schoolyard, there were a lot of metalheads in the 90s, beginning of 90s. And then it was like, hey, you bought a guitar? I was like, yes. And you like death metal? I was like, yes. I will get a drum kit and then we're going to form a band. And that was Assignment that we formed.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm the only one, of course, from back then that left. But yeah, I never played anything else than Assignment.
Okay, then. So why did you choose the name Assignment for the band? What other names did you have?
Oh,
This is where people laugh.
yeah, I know. I mean, well, would I pick a different one if I could back in time? Probably, yeah. But I don't know. Back then, when I was 16, 17, when we formed the first band, you were thinking about names. I remember that Retribution was also an idea because of the album of Malvolent Creation. They had a record, Retribution.
Yeah, great album. One of my favorite death metal bands.
Yeah, especially the early couple of albums.
Yeah,
were awesome. Great. Yeah, whatever. So, yeah, Retribution. And for some reason, I said, like, thinking almost like a businessman, like, yeah, but let's check band names with an A at the beginning, because, then we would be always on the reviews on the first pages, because A comes first,
yeah.
better than being with a X or Z. And for some strange reason, we came up to Assignment, and more because of how it sounds than what it actually means.
Right. So what does it mean
At
to
the
you?
end, at the end, I could still pop us the story to say, like, yes, because our assignment is to play good metal music. So that's our assignment, and that's because we are Assignment. But no, actually, it was just like, oh, that sounds cool, and it starts with an A. Let's take that. I mean, back then, nobody thought that like 35 years later, I will be having like 6 releases with this band.
Yeah, you've done
And
well.
then
I mean,
it started, and then you don't change your name anymore.
Yeah, this is my third album, I think, with Assignment. Is it?
so you
Yes.
so you came in on the closing the circle.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
okay. Then so how do you see God? How do you see each album as a progression up until the new album? Because like you said, the early albums are very death metal, or the demos were very death metal. How do you see this new album as a progression from the previous albums? Yeah.
The riffing has death metal influences, maybe. Um, the big turn was with the third album, and the arrival of different singers and firstly professional singers.
Yeah.
Because every time when I record or have songs for the next album, I would never do an album if I would not know how to top the previous one. So how to become better.
Yeah.
And after the first two albums, one of the main points that I figured out is I need better vocalists that can perform my ideas and lyric lines in a good professional way. I mean, voice is a thing that is very individual. Some might like a voice from some guy, some will not. But he has to know how to sing and make choirs and put glance on the song. He needs to make it better, much better, because that's the main glue where listeners go to the vocalist. You know, it's very hard to listen to an album. You can say like, whoa, these boys are instrumentally so great, but I can take the vocals just for a certain time. That was one big problem that I had with King Diamond.
Okay.
You know?
I'm leaving the interview now.
Why? King Diamond's
No,
awesome. But...
I love King Diamond, so it's
yeah,
like
me too.
I love it. I love it too. I was live a couple of months ago on the tour, and I watched him live, and it's fantastic and everything. And yeah, I went to see the show, and it's awesome. And as I said, but I like, especially when he's singing a bit lower for his standards. You know, the real operatic stuff. It's not my cup of tea. I would just say, you know.
Yeah.
You know, when it gets to highness, Jeff Tate is. That's like, okay, that's something that I always can live with it. But King Diamond and in his way is just too high for me. And then I listen to 3-4 songs. I'm like, oh my God, listen to this riff. Oh, that's great. Oh, listen to the drummer. All best. But he screws it a bit for me.
I mean, you did the album Inside the Machine. That had like 3 or 4 vocalists. You had Michael Bowman, formerly with Jaded Heart.
Yeah, because it was my Operation Mindcrime.
Okay.
Or at least I tried, you know, to make a concept record with different characters and even go above, because in Operation Mindcrime, you really just have 2 characters that are singing actually. And Sister Mary is just got in one song, you know. So I wanted to make it even bigger, maybe something like I always also liked, and I was fan from the very beginning when literally nobody knew them, is Irion.
Yeah, I know they are.
You know, and they made also this always this concept records with a story and with multiple characters, even 5, 6, 7, and yeah, right. And normally Michael Bowman, who was the main character on the Inside of the Machine album, he was supposed to continue with assignment as the lead vocalist, but there is also a funny story to it. Even being older than me, and that said something, he got his girlfriend back then told him to go to Voice of Germany, to the TV show, to the casting show, you know, to try to reach, I don't know, whatever there. And then he did good. He did good. But literally for him, nothing came out. And then he started making very high financial requests upon me due to this thing, that he's like TV no now, and, you know, he can't do the record anymore for, I don't know what I paid him back then, $1,000 or something. He's now like demanding 5. And then I was like, okay, Michael, I understand where you're coming from, but look around, and no. And that's where back then I got in touch with Diego Valdez.
Yeah.
Because the management back then, or the guy that supported us, when I asked him, do you have any suggestions? What do you think? Who could be in our possible range to perform this kind of music? and make it better with his vocals. And he asked me if I heard about the band Helka. And I was like,
great band from Argentina. Yeah.
Yeah, from Argentina. And I was like, nope, never heard of. Why? Yeah, they have a singer, Diego Valdez. I think he would really, really fit good to you. Try to get in touch with him, which I did then. And so I agreed with Diego to do it. He was willing. He wanted. He liked the stuff. And yeah, and from closing the circle, we've got Diego Valdez on the vocals, and I think it's really, really good. I mean, he's a great singer. He has a touch of Ronnie James Dio in his voice, but he can also get some dirt in it and have a very clean voice. Awesome.
Is he still living in Argentina or is he living in Germany?
No, actually, good at it. You asked about it. He moved a couple of years ago already and lives in Spain.
So do you guys actually write the music together and lyrics? How does it work within the band, the Spaarmann?
No, actually, when I composed the song, I already have in mind which part of the song is meant as a verse, which part is meant to be a possible bridge, what's the chorus. And so I then already write lyrics and harmonies for the vocals. So how I imagine the vocals to be. And then I send that to Diego. He listens to it and I say, hey, if you got something better to offer on that particular parts, do it. If not, and usually he does it 90% as I compose it before.
Right.
You know,
okay.
You record the vocals over a piano, or I do really a vocal track with my shitty vocals so that he gets an idea about, because the most important thing is phrasing, you know, because the harmony is given by the guitar, the bass, and the song itself. Is it an E minor or is it an F major, you know? And so he knows in which range he can sing this part. So it's then all about the phrasing, how he's going to phrase the melody.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about the new album with The End Comes Silence. Who came up with the title for the album?
Guilty.
Any other titles?
Sorry?
Did you have any other titles for the album?
No.
No. So do you guys actually rehearse together as a band without Diego being present? Do you actually get together and write songs together in a rehearsal room?
No, not at all. I mean, Diego was here for a slight part of the recording.
Oh, he recorded. I mean, he was recording a lot. I thought at your place, Goran, huh?
Yeah, it was like 2 songs maybe, because he was here like for 5 days. And the main reason we got Diego over is to finally have a good photo shooting where we don't have to Photoshop Diego in and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. So the album, how long did it take to record this album?
Too long, I can say. Yeah. Much too long.
Why?
Oh, different reasons, I think. Huh?
Work, family.
Yeah.
Other bands.
Okay, so the other things got in the way to stop you recording the album, finishing it. When did it actually get finished, this album, the recording session?
Oh, that was a bit longer ago, actually. The album is released now in March, but actually it's finished already since almost 2 years.
Yeah, I think
2.5. Yeah. 2.5 years. Because we are under contract, or we were releasing our previous albums with Massacre Records. And when we finished our albums, Heiko knows it better than me, there were some changes within the label, and for a long time...
I've been interviewing quite a few bands on Massacre Records recently, and they said the same as you. Lineup changes, people leaving and getting structured again.
Yeah, the company was sold and or the label was sold, and so I think there were a little bit a period of uncertainty, how to continue, which people will be responsible, what would be the promo marketing setup. So this took some time. Actually, took much longer, I think, than the Massacre Records guys anticipated themselves. So we were not very fast in recording the album. I think that's one part why it took so long until the last album, and then really we had some delays in setting up, like yeah, setting up a release plan and organizing it with the label and so on. And then there's of course not just us who wants to release an album, and I think we would have liked to have the release already 1 year earlier. But then, as I said, a little bit uncertainty, other bands that are waiting even longer than us to have their release out. And so the label can just work on a limited number of releases. And it's not good for the bands if there's too much. The focus in promotion and everything is not in enough capacity to support like 5 bands per month. It's just maybe two or three, and that's okay. Yeah.
Favorite songs from the new album, both of you? What's your favorites?
It's not a clear favorite when it comes to I cannot really say. I like the title track. I like the chorus a lot. With the end comes silence. That's very nice. And I have some favorite parts, I think. That's more about it's like there's maybe like 20 seconds on that song, 20 seconds on that song. And I think that's more how I see it. And I really like the whole album. So when I listen to it, I when I'm in the car, I'm not just listening to a specific song, but it's an album I can easily listen to even after recording it myself. Normally, I'm absolutely fed up with the material, and I don't want to listen to it for maybe 2 years, and then I'm ready again
Yeah.
to listen to it. But when we got the mix back, it became my favorite album on heavy rotation from first song to the last song. So I really played it a lot of times. And this is also during the last month, even like looking forward to have it released. I regularly take it out on my phone and when I'm in the car and I'm playing it.
Okay, what about you, Gordon? What's your favorite songs from the new album?
I love them all, but I think the title track with the end comes silence and Call for Heaven.
Okay, is there a reason why?
Yeah, just because there are those two songs where I had some ideas or some things that I never done before with the band in the sound, like arpeggio keyboards and stuff like that. A bit more old school, not symphonic, more atmospheric. And I think those two songs, I'm 110% satisfied how it turned out.
Right.
And that's the reason why I would like them most, because the atmosphere, because the songs itself is, I couldn't make it better, because normally after every album, you listen to it after a while, as Heiko said. Normally, I also don't listen to the album after I finish the recording and the whole composing, at least for a year. Maybe if somebody visits me and said, "Hey, put on your new album," but I'm not then really listening to it. And there were always things where I said, at this song, this break, or this part, or this bridge, you can do that better.
Right.
And with these two songs, for example, but also for that, I could actually say for this time, it's really like I listen to it and I'm saying, what else could we do better or different
Right.
next time? And that's also the title. With the end comes silence indicates many things. You can look at it like with the end of your life comes silence. With the end of a band comes silence. And every time when I make a record, I don't know if there's going to be a next one because of my approach. If I come at a time where I say, okay, I can't do it better, I can't do it different, it doesn't sound fresh anymore, I'm not the kind of guy that would record an album just to record an album. I must see or feel or have a vision that it can be better than the previous one.
Yeah.
If I'm not improving,
yeah,
you know,